Alyssa McEwen. I'm sorry if I'm murdering your pronunciation of your name out there. That's the young lady that's waving at us there.
Okay, we are at the Board of Supervisors.
She has sent a request via
Alyssa McEwen is going to go in and speak
to our staff on Sunday when she called my home. And the request was this. She represents a ton of people out here, and rather than all of those folks also sending letters as well as they could have done, her request was simply to represent them in a single 3-minute presentation that she has requested in advance, and I'm led to understand that that has been turned down, so we might...
What?
Has the ability to address that.
Yes, I was going to answer County Council, and just so you know, Sheriff McGreeny and I are working on a solution for that, because we don't want to ever deny anyone else the opportunity to speak. We have to be consistent with how we treat people. So, Ruben?
Thank you, Sheriff. Supervisor Ball. According to the governor's executive order in connection with suspending certain provisions of the Brown Act, the governor said that the county board of supervisors authorized to hold public meetings without making them physically available to the public, either telephonically or electronically. And one of the essential requirements is that the public needs to be provided advance notice of how they may participate in the meetings. We have our website,
yes,
laid out
I'll do whatever they need.
Methodology for participation in the meetings, which is electronically.
Get that duct tape ready. If they won't let us go in and speak, we're going to take the posters down, duct tape on. They need to see that. It's a good, powerful visual, okay?
So that's the essential requirement, is that there has to be advance notice so that all members of the public are able to participate in the same manner. And so that's why, unfortunately, there was not an opportunity to provide telephonically.
The comment was approved by Sheriff McGreeny.
Certainly, if you look at it and it's consistent with health, change that.
Go against the window, take the
We do this responsibly.
Let him finish. We still have
Thank you. And that's why Sheriff McGreeny and I talked yesterday about a remedy for this in the future, and so we're trying to work on that so that we treat everyone equally, because that's what everybody wants, is to be treated equally.
So just to conclude my thoughts on it, we've already set a precedent that this board has invited the Chamber President, Mr. Mangus, to address us.
He's part of a committee.
I'm on the phone. I'm not finished yet.
Well, I know you're not finished, but I'm just saying that.
Thank you. You'll all have your turn. On the phone, and that was a request that was made, and this board could, if it chose, to make that same extension. We have addressed that extension to Mr. Mangus and provided an opportunity. This board could also have responded with that same request because this has been asked of us. So these folks, Supervisor Rickard, although this woman, who is part of the leadership, lives in District 5, they actually, the majority of these folks out here are in your district, and represent from Palisadro is where this group comes from, and I would say probably all of Shasta County, more importantly. But by the time we meet
Why didn't you refer her to contact me directly then?
I referred her as appropriate to...
But why didn't you refer her to contact me directly?
I referred her as appropriate.
I would have been happy to talk to her.
I referred her...
I don't ever not talk to anybody, Mr. Boss, so next time please refer that.
I referred her as appropriate to our CEO and to Mary with the request that they connect with you and forward it directly to you. I'm not saying they have, but we don't meet for 2 more weeks. These folks are here. They have requested that they address us. I think it's appropriate. We respect the legal advice of our counsel, but we all know that we have the ability to say yes.
It has everything to do with you. All right, we're going to move on to the consent calendar. And I
This is not my orchestration. Folks, did I contact any of
Emails with your name on them. No! That you're part of this.
you?
I'm sorry, I've seen the emails. This is.
Oh, so she did have notice.
This is ridiculous.
Yes, it is ridiculous.
Yes, we agree. You're ridiculous.
That person use a cell phone and call in for that particular.
Does she have it in writing? Yes. If she could hand that.
No.
That we are denying the constitutional rights of every other citizen in Shasta County.
It is not right. It's not right.
Heather, if they won't let you speak,
We'll deal with this later. I'm going to move on to the consent calendar. The following consent calendar items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. May be acted upon by the board.
Good morning, members of the board. We, the people of Shasta County, are gathered here today in a peaceful assembly to appeal to our Shasta County Board of Supervisors to defend our constitutional rights as reserved to us, the people, by our Bill of Rights. You, Board of Supervisors, are able to secure our liberties by the authority granted to you when you took your oath of office. Your time has come. This is your opportunity to fulfill your duty to represent your constituents, us, and defy the governor's illegal, unenforceable order. You are not the first county to take this step, and you certainly won't be the last, but by God, you ought to repeal these stages and return Shasta County to its full and complete function. Our businesses are on the brink of no return. There is no amount of emergency funding that can save Shasta County.
Now they're leaving. They're getting up and leaving
Like
now.
all of us, you have done the best you can with the information you have. We could go on here defining an epidemic or correlation and causation or state bylaws or what have you. This is an extenuating circumstance. That's not why you are here. You are here because our Declaration of Independent States that we have certain unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And government exists to secure these rights, and the fact of the matter is, our rights do not and have never included safety, and you were not elected to keep us safe. Again, these rights were not given to us by our government and therefore cannot be retracted, removed, or restrained by our government. And our declaration goes on to say that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and establish new government. You no longer have our consent to close our businesses or you are not responsible for our health. You are not a scientist. You are not our doctors, but what you are is an elected official sworn to secure our rights, and you have failed us. Now is the time. Now, right now, you can make this right. Our founding documents were written for such a time as this. And you, Joe, you, Leonard, Mary, Steve, Les, you are on this board for such a time as this. In Shasta County, our situation is difficult, but not, as some of you have said, impossible. Our situation is unique, but as other counties have shown, it is not one of a kind, and our situation can be remedied effective immediately. According to the authority granted to us, the people, we affirm that Shasta County is open.
Yes.
Board of Supervisors, now it is your turn. Take a vote, an emergency vote, and open Shasta County now. Do not delay another hour. Do not delay another day. Do your sworn duty and secure our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yes. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
contact me, I respond immediately.
I've seen the copies of your emails, and I do understand.
Yeah, okay.
Yep,
Okay, and I want you to please all stay, because we want you here. I want you here.
Okay.
We want to open Shasta County too, but I want to explain some things so that there are some misunderstandings, okay?
I mean,
stay.
We're happy to stay. I think it's we would like to stay.
Please
We
stay.
just also want to be heard.
Well, I understand that, so, but we want, and I want to talk to you individually, so
I would love that.
Okay.
Were you able to hear my speech? Noticed that you left the room. Were you able to hear it? Will you be able to respond to
I
it
called
in
a
time?
recess, so I could, no, I would love to, but do you have a copy of it I can read?
I do. I also want you to hear it though, because I sometimes think a lot is lost in translation.
And if you ask people,
I can sit down with you and read it to you directly. I would love to do that.
Oh, we can't shake.
I was going to say, I will. I'm happy to shake. I will elbow you as well.
Okay, but I want you to be heard. So I would really like to hear, and I want to talk at length. I've been working a lot about the 4-H and FFA issues at the auction. I've been talking to people.
Yep.
So I want to be able to clear up some of those misunderstandings too.
Okay,
So,
and you understand that we're here because we want the Board of Supervisors to open fully and completely.
and I need to explain to you that if we had that power,
Yes,
we would do that.
but you do have the power by majority rules.
Well, I'll explain that.
Okay, and we, this is not the first time. We've all been listening, because we've been denied entry. We have been listening to
everyone's
the
been-
live streams and emailing, and so there's a reason we showed up in person
And
today.
we welcome that as long as we can conduct our meeting.
Absolutely,
In peace and quiet.
absolutely, and I think there's a fine balance here because we have, because it is an emergency order, and an extenuating circumstance should allow for some wisdom.
Well,
And
we have to rely
some
on
being
county
amenable.
counsel so that we don't get sued. We don't want to put ourselves
Absolutely.
in liable.
But we're already.
If you just please stay. Could you please stay?
We will do our best to say a lot of us own small businesses and they need to get back to work, but the people that can stay, I appreciate that.
I'm a business owner myself.
Absolutely. If you don't mind just announcing that really briefly and saying, we're happy to have you guys stay. Some people are going to the street to protest because we aren't being heard, we're not being let in, and I hear what you're saying, I'm not denying you that. But we need to be heard.
And we need to work together.
We do need to work
We all
together.
want the same thing. We really, truly do.
We do, and I have done a lot of reading and a lot of talking with a lot of people, and I believe that you guys have the power by majority to open today.
Well, let me explain what happened in Modoc County because I
Yes.
talked to a Modoc County supervisor Sunday night.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
want to be able to explain to the community what's happened in that particular county.
Okay.
Because they tried to open and explain what happened.
And, and those of us that are here that can listen.
And Yuba and Sutter, the same thing.
Placer County is open too.
And it is, and we do have, you guys are being live streamed. We're doing the same thing.
Can we confirm that?
Oh.
Live streaming that? Because I heard it's stopped.
Yeah.
During recess, it was stopped.
During recess, it was
Live
stopped.
stream. We live stream all the time.
Okay.